Jannik Sinner criticizes Juan Carlos Ferrero. The recent statement by Jannik Sinner about Juan Carlos Ferrero's words has sparked intense debate in the tennis world. Ferrero, Carlos Alcaraz's coach, stated that to reach the elite, one must be a slave to tennis, a phrase that Sinner elegantly but firmly rejected, which Ferrero has criticized. Instead of seeing the sport as a prison of discipline, the Italian defended the idea of passion as the main driver of success. According to him, genuine love for the game allows one to maintain long-term motivation without falling into destructive obsession. Sinner, who is going through one of the best moments of his career after winning in Paris and temporarily reclaiming the world #1 ranking, has made it clear that his philosophy is based on balance. He practiced several sports in his childhood, which allowed him to maintain a healthy relationship with competition. This vision contrasts with Ferrero's rigidity, who believes total sacrifice is the only way to reach the top. For Sinner, the key is to enjoy the process without losing one's identity, and that is what sets him apart from many traditional champions. His response was a direct attack on what it means to live for tennis. Instead of talking about slavery or extreme sacrifice, the Italian spoke about self-knowledge and personal growth on the court. "I have passion," he said, emphasizing that tennis has taught him to find himself and stay calm even in difficult moments. This philosophy has made him one of the most consistent players on the circuit, both mentally and physically. The contrast with Ferrero also reflects two generations of thought within the sport. Ferrero belongs to an era in which training was understood as a daily battle against physical and mental limits, a kind of almost religious sacrifice. Sinner represents the new wave, athletes who prioritize mental health, the joy of competing, and the emotional connection to their profession. In this context, his disagreement with Ferrero is not only personal but also symbolic of the cultural shift that modern tennis is experiencing. As Sinner prepares for the Turin tournament, his message resonates beyond statistics. In a sport where pressure is constant and perfection seems mandatory, his approach offers a hopeful alternative. It is possible to reach the top without losing one's humanity. "When things go well, you have to work harder," he said, reminding that success also requires effort, but without falling into the slavery of self-demand that Ferrero advocates. Ultimately, Sinner's criticism aims to propose a healthier way of understanding high performance. His speech reflects an athlete who trusts his own path, a player who prioritizes love for tennis over the obsession with winning. At a time when emotional balance is more valued than ever, his stance feels refreshing and necessary within the professional circuit. Impactful message from Carlos Alcaraz after his victory at the ATP Finals. It shows when one shares space with Alcaraz. The Mercian appeared at a press conference after defeating Minaur, dressed in a bright pink hoodie with platinum hair. In his own way. It also happens on the court, where he started his journey at the ATP Finals on a good note. His first time debuting with a win. "It gives confidence and sends a message to rivals," he said. Ahead of him are Fritz and Musetti before reaching the semi-finals. No match is easy. There have been many tournaments, many matches, and it is possible that by the end of the year one is more mentally and physically tired. De Minaur is very fast. It is difficult to have a plan against De Minaur. You have to win points 3 or 4 times. You have to have and know how to take advantage of opportunities throughout the match. "I am satisfied with my game," Carlitos began. In Alcaraz's path now appear Fritz and Musetti, Djokovic's replacement, who withdrew from the ATP Finals after winning his 101st title in Athens. "I won't lie, I prefer Lorenzo rather than Djokovic in the group. It is always difficult to face Novak here due to his experience and his level on these courts. I lost to him in the semifinals in 2023, he destroyed me," explained the Mercian. This edition started with victories for the first time after beginning on the wrong foot in the last 2 editions. Starting the tournament with a win is always appreciated because it gives confidence for the following matches. If you win a match here, it is because you played well, because the level is very high. It forces you to push yourself and sends a message to rivals. "I am happy about that and will have to keep improving things I didn't do well today," Carlitos analyzed. "It's because of the speed. Everything goes faster and doesn't give as much time to spin the ball, so it doesn't open up as much. In Paris, we had more time to play with more margin. The serve didn't hurt as much, and that's why the ball became bigger. They resemble the balls, but here we can do more damage due to the speed of the court. Why not both? That is the question. Why choose one when I can fight for both? I will have many years to play both, but I will try to fight for both tournaments this year." Satisfied with his dominance, level of play, and also because he has reached the final stretch of the season as he had not done before. Mentally and physically fresher. "It's a process, realizing what I need, especially off the court, to stay motivated, being aware that the season is very long. "I rested more between tournaments, spent more time at home," he said. He faces the ATP Finals, the Masters Cup, between November 9 and 16. From Turin, he will go to Bologna to compete in the Davis Cup Final 8. Only two Spaniards have won this Masters, Manolo Orantes and Alex Corretja. Alcaraz lacks the silver salad bowl, a Davis Cup that all great tennis players want. At 22 years old, regarding choosing one of the two trophies in these 2 intense weeks, Carlos Alcaraz shows his most positive side. He has never backed down from anything, not now either. "Why choose one if I can fight for both? I will also have many years to play the Davis, because it is played every year, and I hope to represent Spain for many years. We will fight for both this year," he concluded. Which would actually be 3 trophies, since he is also competing for the cup awarded in Turin to the year-end world number 1. A contest in which he has an advantage over Italian Jannik Sinner, since it depends on himself. The simplest calculation: win 3 matches and not look at the Italian. The Australian succumbed to the Mershon's level, noting that he played a perfect second set, and regretted the missed opportunity with 5-4 and 2 serves in the tiebreak of the first set. Alex de Minaur left the Inalpi arena with mixed feelings. On the one hand, he knew he had just faced a fantastic version of Carlos Alcaraz, with one of his best ever matches on the backhand side. On the other hand, he knew he had let slip a small chance in the tiebreak of the first set, where he had 5-4 and 2 serves to go ahead. Those mixed feelings marked his statements in the press conference after falling to Carlos Alcaraz in his debut at the 2025 ATP Finals. Alex de Minaur did not necessarily play a bad match. He was mentally strong enough to recover from a bad start, endured stretches of his rival's exuberance, and only lost on the scoreboard due to Carlos's merits. Still, it was another defeat to analyze. He is yet to beat Carlos in his career, even more painful considering the difficult ranking situation it leaves him in. De Minaur highlighted Alcaraz's backhand as his great weapon and, above all, regretted the missed opportunity in the first set tiebreak. "Very complicated match against a very good opponent. I felt I had some chances in the first set. Today he came out playing at an extremely high level, which made it very difficult to keep up with his pace at times." Although more is at stake than a trophy already won, among the current qualifiers are Italian Jannik Sinner, Serbian Novak Djokovic, 6-time champion tied with Swiss Roger Federer, and German Alexander Zverev. Also, the fight for the year-end number 1 is between Carlos Alcaraz, in his 3rd participation, and Jannik Sinner, who has kept the contest alive by stringing together indoor and hard-court victories in Vienna and Paris. And there is a good financial prize, with participation fees for competitors, although most of it comes from winning matches. The US Open in August offered the largest prize in an official event, $5 million for the singles champions. The ATP surpassed that record, although it is still below $6 million for the best of the 6 Kings Slam exhibition. An undefeated champion, who wins all 5 singles matches, will earn $5,071,000, around €4.5 million at the current exchange rate. From a total prize pool of $15,500,000, about €3.5 million. Those who complete the group stage, playing all 3 matches, are guaranteed an income of $331,000, $165,500 for 1, $248,250 with 2, and that figure completing the 3rd. Additionally, there is a $396,500 bonus for each win in the group stage. In the semifinals, a bonus of $1,183,500 for each winner and a final prize of $2,367,000 for the champion. Alcaraz and Sinner showed their good vibes, as well as their teams, during their meeting in Turin. It is a rivalry characterized by sportsmanship and their mutual desire to improve in a duel usually favorable to the Mershon when they face each other directly, 10 wins in 15 matches. These were the best moments of the training between Alcaraz and Sinner in Turin. Maximum anticipation was present in Turin on Friday morning during a training session between Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner on the main court of the 2025 ATP Finals. It is not common to see the 2 best tennis players in the world practicing together, but both performed at a high level and left memorable moments. The Spaniard and Italian shared a session of over an hour and a half and exchanged some comments in a relaxed tone, as is usual when they meet on court. First, they did warm-up exercises and practiced some shots on an adjacent court, and later they tried the main stage of the tournament in a simulated match with 1 set and a tiebreak. Sinner, supported by Italian fans who watched the session, won the set clearly 6-3, after taking a 3-0 lead. The tiebreak went to the player from El Palmar.